Hello, welcome back to the workbench. I have the MN99 on the bench today. This is the previous version of the MN99S. This has all of the great upgrades that I've done so far to it. You can watch all of the other videos to see about those. I've got the brushed motor back in it because so far this has been the best running crawler. Try this brushless system in this crawler today. This has got the WLP or WPL or whatever the heck it is, 2-speed transmission in there. This is a aftermarket one, and it works well. It shifts, it does those things. I've got different links in the front than I do the back. I like the back ones better, believe it or not, the old plastic ones, because of this modification I did right here, where I drilled all the way through and then put a nut on the end. That really made a big difference. I am happy with that upgrade, by golly. I've upgraded the chassis on this thing, and I have also moved the steering servo onto the axle itself to get rid of that bump steer. So yes, I have lots of upgrades on this thing. Let's see how it crawls and on the old Rocks of Justice over there. And then we'll take this thing apart and see if we can make it even better. All right, let's get our benchmark set. We can see how it works with the motor that comes with it, or comes with the 2-speed transmission. Oh, that's a good test, huh? Oh, I think I let the smoke out of this earlier. Well, I let the smoke out of this thing earlier. I didn't remember I did that. Don't remember if I even made a video on that. And I can smell the smoke, so yep. I guess that's a good enough reason to upgrade this thing, huh? Let's get started. Evidently, I let the smoke out of one of these things. I hope it's not this. I hope it's that. This is cheaper. But let's take it all apart and see what we can figure out. Yep, it's the motor. I let the smoke out of the motor. Cool. Alright, we need to get this apart. Yes, that was lucky. That was lucky. Love to replace this brass pinion. Let's see if we can. Yeah, it's 10 teeth. I don't think I can. I don't know of a 10-tooth pinion with a 0.5 mod. If you know of one, please send me a link down there in the notes. All right, it's been a week, believe it or not. I went and got some drill bits because I didn't have the right drill bits to drill out this little baby pinion. Some of the things that I discovered was inside the transmission there was a lot of brass shavings in there from the pinion because it's the only thing brass in there. So that led me to believe that this pinion probably won't last very long in this transmission. So I found, while ordering these, I found pinions that may work inside there, steel ones of the same size, and we'll see how they work. So let's first get this one going, and then we'll do the pinion swap later. So I need to figure this out. The motor, the reason we're doing this is because the motor, the shaft on it is 2.3 millimeters, where the shaft on the old motor was 2 millimeters. So I need to find a drill that's going to drill that out and still allow it to press fit. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with the 2 millimeter drills. And that looks like a 2. I'm going to do the 1.9 here. I believe that's what that is. And that fits in there. It fits in there all right. It does have a little wobble. The 2 mil does not, just barely fits in there. So I don't want to drill it the same size. So I know that. So at 2.3, each one of these drills is 0.1. Does it say? That would be really cool if it said on these what size. Oh, it does. 2.3. So this must be 2.2. 2.2. So 2.2 is what I'm going to use because that is a 2.3. So that ought to work. I'll use that drill to drill that out. So I got this fancy drill press and this fancy vise, and at first I thought these little things right here weren't going to do me any good at all, but now that I'm using it, I'm finding I can use that to hold the pinion in and get it straight. Machinist on YouTube, huh? Yes. Alright. I'll put this in here. Looks like it'll go down far enough. Good, good, good. And we'll tighten this up. I'm not going to clamp the vise down because it's not big enough for me to worry about. And two, I want it to move a little bit to self-center. That's the plan anyway. Let's see what happens. There we go. That was pretty uneventful. But hopefully I didn't drill too much because I can't undrill. Oh, I think it's going to be good. Alright, let's see if it goes on. It went on. I don't see any cracks. I don't know if it went on far enough, but we're going to find out. Oh yeah, it should be fine. Okay, I had to do some measuring. So what I did was I put the motor in there, and then I measured how far I had about there, and then about there, and I think I'm in good shape. Let me double check that, because we've got 6 mil, we'll say, and that's about, that's 5.6, so we should be okay. 0.3 mil. As long as this part of the shaft doesn't interfere with that gear, we should be fine. Okay, well, what I ended up doing was I put some little washers in between the motor and this because it was hitting the second gear. So you got the first gear, I'll call it the first gear, which goes against the pinion, and then it's got a second gear in here. That it was hitting that second gear. So I fixed that. So now we need to wire this thing up, and I'm going to throw on a better connector because I don't like these. Well, I don't know if I like them or not. I haven't tried them. We will change out the connectors and get it all wired up, and we'll be right back now. All right, I'm back. I've got it all put back together. I've got the instructions read, and we are ready to begin the setup process. It isn't too hard. What you have to do is you got to have a full battery. You got to have your radio, and you want your radio set so that the steering is set to 0 in the the trim, and you want the EXP set to 100% as well. So you want it turned all the way up, and you want it centered, and then the ESC will, electronic speed control in here, will figure it out for you. So I've got a new connector on there. I'm going to plug it in. Hope no smoke comes out. No smoke. So we hold the set button down. We turn it on. It'll beep. You release the set button. At this time, points need to be set to the neutral, end, and forward position. So you want to push it in the neutral and then press the set button and it'll beep once. And then forward position, press the button, it'll beep twice. And then reverse, press the button, and it'll beep 3 times. Now it's ready to go. It's got like a delay to it. See, I'll hit the throttle. It takes a little bit to delay. So that is what I'm going to do first, now that we got it plugged in, is I'm going to reset it. That will reset it back to factory, and then I'll press OK. So item 1 is 1, which is forward matching. That's good. Item 2 is 1. That's good. Item 3 should be 3. Good. Item 4 is 1. Good. 5 is 1. Good. BEC voltage. That's the voltage that this is going to send through here into the remote, into the receiver. Then the receiver is going to send to the servo. So if you change that, it's going to increase your servo speed. But it may let the smoke out of your radio. So be careful. I'm going to leave mine alone. Drag brake force is set to option 6, which is level 5. Number 8, which is drag brake rate, is set to auto. I'm going to set that one to 1, to level 1. I'll say OK, because I'm not going to have the drag brake thing plugged in. That's the yellow wire. Max reserve force, that is set to 4. Option 4, max reserve is 4. It's 100%. I don't want that to be 100%. I want that to be 50%. So that is 2. Okay. And max brake is set to 60%, which is option 5. So we'll do that, or option 6 rather. Max decrease, we want to be level 1. So we'll do item 11, which should be set to 1. It is. The punch is set to level 5. And the neutral range is set to 8%. Okay, that looks good to me. We'll go ahead and turn it off and we'll see if it works better. So for slow, it turns off right away, but for full speed, it doesn't. Well, seems to be better. All right, let me put the top back on it and we'll try it out. All right, here we go. The first test with the Hobbywing Fusion mini16. Well, that's not the Hobbywing fault. That because it high centered right there. That's driver error. That was driver error on that one. Let's try again. Again. Again, we high centered. All right, well, let's let's give it a better chance, shall we? Let's move that rock over. Whoa, that's going to make it a little bit interesting, isn't it? Oh, let's see what happens. Alright, let's see what we can do. Alright. So far everything has been driver error, or the model has just been high centering. Nothing bad with the motor. The motor has been great. This is probably the best brushless one yet. Not of this motor. This motor is great. Look at that, how slow it's crawling. Let's try that again. I almost had it. Yay! Let's see if we can go the other way. All right. Well, I think we've got a winner here. It's not warm at all, which it shouldn't be at all. I didn't drive it that much. But I think I've got a winner with a brushless setup for the MN99 with the 2-speed transmission. Yeah. Can you do it? Probably. I'm going to say this is a... What is this? Is this a 3? This is probably a 3. 2.5, 3 on the old bench scale. But yeah, I like it. I'm impressed. 2 more upgrades I want to do to this thing before I take it out in the wild. One, I want to build my own inserts for these tires because you saw how they were, the sidewalls weren't holding up the model very well. So I'm going to create some inserts for that. And then 2, I have another front end that I'm going to put on here and make this thing rear steer. So that's my next upgrade to do on this. And then we'll take it out in the wild and see how it does. So thanks for watching. I hope you're enjoying this series. Let me know. And we'll see about getting the Defender out there and... out there in the wild and see how it does on the big rocks. Thanks for watching. Happy crawling.